So you might have noticed that for the past few weeks I haven't been uploading as many Pokemon battles, and I guess the reason is that I haven't really streamed that often, and even when I do stream I don't really get that many Pokemon battles. Also, when I try and look for them on Smogon, I either get DC'd on because Nintendo's annoying, or I DC myself because the battle is terrible and I'm playing horribly. So we end up with a complex where I spend 5 hours of my day wasting my time and only manage to get one battle, and that is exactly what happened today. I spent 5 hours of my day wasting my time and then got one battle. And this one battle, if you look at this guy's team, yeah, I was really just depressed on even starting this game because he has Jirachi, Gastrodon, Vaporeon, and Politoed. 4 bulky motherfuckers, and then 2 big-ass threats in Keldeo and Latios. So I was not too pleased at seeing this team, but Joey gave me a team, and it's fun, it's decent, it's good, it's interesting, and so I decided, you know, let's just dive in, and I can do this if I try and I think and properly do things. So that's what I attempt to do. So let's go, let's start, here we are. We've got Crobat versus Latios. Now, first thing that comes to mind is that big blue motherfucker could be scarfed, and if that case is so, he would stay in on Crobat. So I'm thinking, go out to Rotom, take a special hit, and just go from there. And, you know, if he stays in, he's probably scarfed. If he switches out, he's probably not scarfed, because he wouldn't want to take a U-turn, I'm guessing. But he stays in, goes for the Psyshock, and then does damage which doesn't look scarfed. It looks a bit more powerful than that. So I'm thinking that maybe he was just, you know, outright being ballsy on the first turn, and I didn't get a U-turn off on him when I probably could have done, because it looks like he isn't scarfed and perhaps is spexed. Judging how much the Psyshock is doing to even bulky-ass Landorus with the massive physical D, yeah, that's looking to be a bit of a problem. But it's clear 3-hit KO. He's definitely not going to 2-shot me. So I stay in, go for the U-turn as he switches into Vaporeon. And now I can easily go back into my Rotom. Now, the good thing about his team in general is that my Rotom doesn't care if it takes a lot of damage. And the reason is because he has lots of slow things. Slow things which Rotom is faster than. Slow things which Rotom can pain split on. So that's exactly my plan here. I know that Vaporeon has HP in bundles and in buckets of HP it carries around it. So I'm thinking, go for the pain split, get some HP back on myself, and he really can't do anything bad to me apart from toxic, I'm thinking. So best course of play, I think so, and that's what I go for. Unfortunately, he protects, which kind of signals that now that he knows what I'm going to do, he's going to attempt something else by either switching out to a Pokemon to better deal with the pain split, or by thinking I'm going to overpredict and staying in, and that didn't make much sense. I don't even know if it did. Who cares? I'm talking. Things are happening. I go for the Volt Switch, and I end up hitting the Politoed as he switches that thing in, I guess expecting the pain split, but it doesn't happen because I Volt Switch on him, do a lot of damage, go into my Raikou, who now threatens the Politoed greatly with an electric move of my choice. Now, everyone, he obviously, as a Politoed and being leftovers, has the possibility of having Protect, so that is one thing I am wary of. He also happens to carry Gastrodon, which is like a built-in counter to Raikou unless it's carrying HP Grass. So my thought process was either he's going to Protect or he's going to go straight into Gastrodon. In both of those situations, Crobat works out because Crobat can do a heavy amount of damage to Gastrodon with Brave Bird, and it can also just come in on a Protect and then you turn out. Fortunately for me, goes for the Toxic, which I don't really know why he would do that and stay on a Raikou and go for Toxic, but it works out perfectly because I actually managed to take the Toxic because I'm a Crobat. You turn out into Toxicroak, who I now realize can basically screw over this Politoed completely because of Dry Skin and being a Poison type, so 2 of his moves are nullified, and I can hit him with Neutral Drain Punch with Stab and everything and do as much damage as I possibly can, and it'll be all happy dandy, and that's exactly what I do. I do it, I punch him in the face, do a huge amount of damage, bring him down to the red, but unfortunately he parasongs me, which I guess was a precautionary measure on the off chance that I decided to Swords Dance, which I guess is slightly smart on his part. So now he reveals the Protect, and I know his entire moveset. I'm pretty safe to go up against this guy, and I go for the Ice Punch on it, and the reason I go for Ice Punch there is he would have potentially predicted the Drain Punch and gone out into his Latios, and I wanted to catch that thing on the switch if he did want to do that. But at this point, I know he's not going to go into Latios. I think either Gastrodon or Vaporeon, So I'm going to switch it up to Drain Punch again, and ends up working out as I do a heavy chunk to the Vaporeon as it switches in. Life Orb hit, it's stab, it does a good amount, and it kind of looks like he's more specially defensive. I'm thinking that maybe a physically defensive Vaporeon would have taken that a little better, but it's good damage, it's solid, and I'm pleased with it. So for the time being, I'm going to go out into my Politoed, I think as some kind of pivot. I want to go into it to see what move he's going to go for and what he has to potentially hit Toxicroak with, because I wasn't really sure whether it was threatening my Toxicroak whatsoever. And he ends up switching out straight, so I'm guessing that he didn't really have anything to threaten my Toxicroak with. Goes into his Latios, which I guess could threaten Toxicroak, and we end up with my Scarf Politoed against his Latios. I end up critting him with Ice Beam, and I would say that this potentially could have mattered because he could have lived it easily, I know he could have, and then struck me with a Draco or something. But I end up not actually using Politoed the rest of the entire match, and I also have a couple of ways to deal with Latios, such as Shadow Ball from Raikou and Sucker Punch from Toxicroak. So overall, I'm going to say it didn't matter, just because there were ways of dealing with it and other such things, and such is the case. I'm not going to explain it anymore. You get the idea. Blah blah blah. Toxicroak versus Politoed, we've seen this matchup before in this game, and clearly he cannot do anything to me apart from go for the Perish Song, so I'm thinking I'm not going to bother trying to set up with Swords Dance. I certainly can't sweep him at this point because Keldeo is still around, and it resists my form of priority, which is Sucker Punch, so that it's kind of a stupid thing to try and set up in the first place. I'm just going to go for Drain Punches, just smash him as much as I can and do as much damage, and try and, kill him, and I end up doing it. Politoed is dead. One annoying threat out the way. Now I've got to deal with the other two bulky waters, Gastrodon and Vaporeon, respectively. So, first of all, I know that Gastrodon is a good thing to take Toxicroak on because of Earth Power or Earthquake. He ends up being Earth Power variant. Go into Rotom to take the Earth Power, and then switch out to my Crobat, predicting the Toxic, because I'm thinking that if he is a Gastrodon and he has lots of things with Protect, I'm guessing it's much more a Protect stalling type guy. He ends up actually switching to Jirachi, which is okay. I can easily go for the Choice Banded U-turn on that thing and just do as much damage as I possibly can. Bring Crobat back to me, and then decide what the best course of action would be from here. I decide Rotom because I can burn him and then get a bit of residual damage going on. I still don't know whether he's the Body Slam Iron Head variant or whether he's the Water Pulse Thunder variant, and in either scenario Rotom doesn't really mind. So I decide to bring it in, go for a Will-O-Wisp, and then potentially go for a Pain Split after that, so I can get my health up a bit more and just to a respectable amount of HP, so Rotom can be able to deal with other threats on his team appropriately. So he paralyzed me with a Body Slam, which is kind of expected. It is a 60% chance. This is a Jirachi we're talking about here. No need to beat around the bush. It does this for its job. It is well employed and it knows what it's doing. So not surprised that it happened, but well, slightly annoying, I guess. He's going to U-turn out, and right now I'm obviously confirming the fact that he's a physical variant because he has Body Slam, he has a U-turn, most likely has Iron Head, and then he set up Stealth Rocks on one of those turns, I think when I switched in or something. So works out because Rotom is basically 100% counter to it at this point, cannot do anything to touch me, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. So I go for the Pain Split, expecting him to switch, and even if he stayed in, Pain Split would bring me back up to a respectable amount of HP anyway, and I end up being so close to full that it's really nice. It's really nice. Yes, it is really nice. I decided to stay in on the Gastrodon. Reason being is that the only way to residually damage this thing is with Will-O-Wisp. I don't have Toxic on the team, and burning stuff is my only option, really, if I want to wear it down. So go for the burn. Gastrodon takes it, and he actually Earth Powers, I guess, predicting me to switch into Raikou, maybe, or something, or Toxicroak. He may well have predicted that. I don't know what he was predicting. Raikou or Toxicroak could have both come in on the thing. I never really had a reason to, because neither of them can really touch Gastrodon. So I don't know, a bit of a strange play, but yeah, I get a burn for my trouble. So that's the thing. I think I end up getting paralyzed as he switches to Rachi. I wanted to Volt Switch there and end up not being the case because, well, I get paralyzed, and that happens. That's the thing. It's a thing that happens when you're faced down in a Pokemon battle, and yes, nothing you can do about it, is there? Nothing whatsoever. At this point, though, his Jirachi is pretty much useless against my Rotom. He's just trying to flinch and power me, even though I'm gaining HP back with lefties, which is going to bring me back to full HP every turn, so he's basically just wasting PP. I'm just wanting to get a Volt Switch off, so I get a safe switch into Landorus, because I can easily go for an Earthquake now. Nothing on his team wants to take an Earthquake, and I am not afraid of the Jirachi because it is burned and it can't really do anything to me. The only annoying thing is the potential power hacks from Body Slam, but at this point, you know, the entire match anyway, Landorus hasn't been very useful. Just looking at his entire team, Landorus is basically screwed over by a lot of them, so it makes sense that I would kind of fodder it off at this point, and if I get paralyzed, it's no big deal. I just want to hit something with an Earthquake. I could have also potentially set up rocks there, and it would have been a little bit nicer, but he has Gastrodon, which resists rocks, and he has Keldeo, which also resists, so it wasn't a huge thing. And I end up killing it. He crits me with a Body Slam, which is a little bit of an annoyance, but not a huge deal when Keldeo is in the picture, because it can just kill me with a Hidden Power Ice. Now, fortunately for me, this wasn't Hidden Power Ice. It was actually Hidden Power Grass, because my opponent apparently miss-salved, and gonna kind of cost him, because I end up living the Hidden Power Grass, getting off a sizable chunk with Earthquake, and definitely just put me in a nice position, because now that Kelleo's lower HP, there's still the chance that with +2, Toxicroak can kill it with a Sucker Punch, and that's exactly what I'm hoping for. So I leave Landorus as death fodder. I decide at this point he's probably going to be choiced, so being choice locked into HP Grass against a Raikou or Raikou or Roku or Riku. I don't know. Why am I saying Raikou's names in different ways, in strange ways? He's the tax man, and he's going to charge you. Oh, look at that. I made a joke because his name's the Taxman and because he's electric. So anyway, I'm a Shadow Ball, hit the Gastrodon because I predicted Gastrodon to come in, and my best thing to hit it with was Shadow Ball, because I think I have HP Ice on this thing. I don't actually know because I didn't ask Joey. It may be HP Grass, but I wouldn't have a clue. I guess he can let me know somewhere, somehow, over the rainbow. I go into Crobat. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, well, fucking all he has left is Vaporeon, Gastrodon, Keldeo, I believe. So if I just smash stuff with Brave Bird, if I just take the fizzy Stardust, the fizzy Stardust mentality of Brave Birding all things in mankind and Pokemon kind, perhaps it will work out for me. And ladies and gentlemen, I probably should have done this a lot earlier, because apparently Choice Banded Brave Bird just kills it. It just kills Gastrodon. I'm guessing he was specially defensive, because I'm pretty sure a physically defensive one could have lived that hit, but it goes down on 1, which I was like, okay, that's a thing. That just happened, and it certainly did, because I killed him. What, however, isn't a thing that I'm pleased about is that his Keldeo ends up being his Scarfer, which makes sense because his Latios wasn't Scarfed, and so Keldeo being the Scarfer in this scenario is the obvious thing. However, he makes a fatal mistake going for the Surf to take me out, because it means essentially I can go into Toxicroak. He's locked in on the Surf. I get up a free Swords Dance. At this point, I'm pretty sure it's a game. All I need to do is Drain Punch the Vaporeon, and then I think a Sucker Punch will take out the Keldeo with +2, though I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of hoping that it will do, and that will be the case. So, go for the Drain Punch on the Vaporeon with +2, and the motherfucker lives with the tiniest of the smidgens. He is the Corporal Admiral of the smidgen, as so happens to be. He goes for a Wish, and you know, he could protect here, which I thought was a possibility, and I was thinking maybe I should Swords Dance on him protecting, but then I was like, I don't want to take the risk. I'm just going to Drain Punch, and yeah, I'll kill him. And he doesn't end up protecting. I guess he predicts me to Swords Dance, thinking that he would protect, and I end up slicing him down, allowing me now to go for the Sucker Punch on the Keldeo, which, all things willing, will be able to take the thing out. And even if it didn't take it out, I was hoping that I would live a hit with Raikou, mainly because of the fact that, I don't know, reasons. Because he wouldn't be able to go for a fighting move because I'm a toxic poison type, and he wouldn't be able to go for a water move because I have dry skin, so he would have had to go for like HP Grass or something like that, which wouldn't have been very beneficial. Yeah. Alright, that's it. That's that. That was a long game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm going to try and get more battles. I'll try my hardest. It can be a pain, so bear with me if they don't come as frequently as such is the case. Otherwise, if you did enjoy, please leave a big thumbs up on the video. I sound like such a fucking, you know, those people who just tell you to click the button without any reason. Only if you enjoyed it. Only. If you didn't enjoy it, don't. Don't. I implore you, if you didn't enjoy the video, don't click it. Just leave it alone. It'll sit there on its own. It'll be fine. It's lonely, of course, but I'm sure it'll handle the real world on its lonesome. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.